Doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, yeah.
So at this point, you probably realize that I'm muted. I have made a hype introduction for both parties, summarizing about what we are gonna talk about, but luckily they also introduced themselves, so the recording is saved. You're probably gonna see me muted for another 2 minutes before I figure it out, so until then, please endure my silence, alright? Thank you, boys. Peace.
Okay, I will do the first standard then. I am Leszko, a very honest and loyal Hinata player from the old times. So I'm a PlayStation 2 Naruto player at first, um, but Naruto is not my main game, but my secondary. I would say as a fighting game and rhythm game player. But we'll talk about anime related fighting games here. So let's stick to Naruto for the time being. And uh, I would say I am proud of being the most successful. It would be too not too humble to say I'm the best because he's also the best in that old PlayStation 2 game we are competing with. I think at least ooh, let's say
Since 2007.
yeah. So it's been 14 years now. Um, so yeah, we love the whole Naruto series, anime series, the manga type as well, and I will pass the word to you.
Yeah, and most importantly, that's why we started making tournaments locally. So I think
10 years ago,
we barely had any online tournaments because the community was always growing pretty strong locally here in the middle of Hungary, and that's how we actually got to know Traitor and all the other fantastic players. Uh, for the Storm community, maybe because the PlayStation 2 era was long gone when all the tournaments starting to happen. And well, about me, I look the same, I dress the same, I play the same game, but not with Hinata. I hate her as a character in that game, especially. But I'm more like what is it? Gara, Deidara, and Temari, and Hirko as well. So more like a Sand Village player, and everybody else. Why I like in Naruto games. Um, well, I'm also very good in rhythm games. Uh, some of some of them I play on international level or world class level. It depends which game it is. And also I'm a fighting game expert in some other areas like Virtual Fighter, which released actually for free a month ago. So it's a very big comeback from them from Sega. But let's talk about Naruto. Recently, I managed to get hold of Guinness World Records with the Naruto video game. So if that's something you want to learn more about, then you can see the paper, the backstory, and everything about it in a separate. Yeah, it's a
Yeah, I want
separate
to see that.
interview video. I know Poison haven't yet reacted to this, so I'm quite curious what happened in the Twitter or something. But yeah, let's talk about it later.
At this point, I'm talking about how I met both of them. I was at one of their Storm competition, I believe in Storm Generations. I was talking with Grasshopper during the whole day. I suppose he probably saw that I have taken quite a like to the game and he hasn't seen me before, so he was probably also curious about me. After a few days, I got a text on Facebook asking what I thought about him. I was a bit surprised, so I gave an average answer where I said that he was a nice guy. Then the guy I'm talking to turns out to be Leszko, who is his twin brother, so it turns out that they debated me into thinking that I'm talking to the very same person. After the next response, I even mentioned that on Discord a lot of times I have no clue who I'm talking to because they use the very same Discord profile.
Yeah, happens all the time.
You never knew who you were talking to, so during your introduction, actually, when you mentioned Poisoned Okami, I wanted to suggest like he was dominating and obliterating all the players in last match as a guest character. I wanted to say as a guest character, but it was as an event. But now it's your turn, Okami. So share some thoughts with us.
Yeah, so I'm Poisoned Okami. Those of you who don't know me, I am a Naruto YouTuber as well as a Twitch streamer. I've been playing the Naruto Storm series since around late 2010, Storm 2.
Storm 2.
Played that very casually, and then played Generations, and I played every Storm game after Storm 2, so I didn't get Storm 1. And then I got involved in like clans and Generations, and then from Generations Storm 3 time, I started playing it a lot more competitively, found my love for Naruto. It literally replaced any other game I was playing at the time. I used to play like other games like Tekken and Call of Duty, but those kind of went out of the window as soon as I started playing Naruto. So yeah, Naruto kind of took over my life. Spent a lot of time into it over the years. Did a lot of like online tournaments and stuff here and there. I never did anything locally. Like the tournament that you guys hosted last year in Hungary was my first ever local tournament, and it was an amazing atmosphere. It was absolutely amazing. Like I got to thank you guys again for hosting that. It was phenomenal. I could do it all over again. But yeah, so yeah, I'm all about just playing Naruto on my YouTube channel. I mainly do like tutorials and guides as well as like funny videos like ranked marathons and things like that, and I try to keep like a variety of different types of content of like teaching as well as entertainment and knowledge and all sorts. And as you could imagine, when Demon Slayer comes out later, I'm gonna probably try and do some content on that as well. We'll see how the game goes. But yeah, that's pretty much me, just your average YouTuber and Twitch streamer.
At this point, I'm asking both of them what do they think about Demon Slayer itself as a whole. So not just the game, but the anime, manga, and the movie, everything. Because currently, every single media of Demon Slayer is more or less winning. Like currently, it's the most famous, quote-unquote best. And what if the game also follows this tendency as of becoming the best arena fighter game?
I think it's pretty much planned out since they saw how the anime is dominating. As you said, it's very popular. It's all over the charts, and well, the comics I would say not so much because it's something that as for Europe or USA, it's always late. It's always late in translation. I mean officially, and we always get to know the animation first. And since CC2 has all the rights to, and I think the privilege to make this game as much as they want, and they well, there are not many animation series out there about these kind of things. There's Dragon Ball and Naruto so far, which are the two most popular, and this should be the third that is going to, in my hopes, just become a bomb on its own. It's gonna be fun.
Okay, now it's recording.
Yay!
Oh, I fucking
So basically, they could hear me and
Yes.
Leszko and Grasshopper, but not you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
Some post work after this one for you. But
Let me check
Yep.
something. Oh my god.
we don't care. We continue.
All right,
It's your
whatever.
job. Yeah. Let's fix everybody.
All right, whatever. I'll figure it out. All right, let's keep continuing. Like, so what do you think, Poisoned, about Demon Slayer itself?
Yeah, the franchise itself really blew up. Like when I first heard about it, I didn't really get into it until like much later. Everybody was talking about the anime, even people in my local area, like people at my work and stuff. Like the anime really had a good reception when it first started. I watched the anime and yeah, I was in love with it. I just love like, the variety of characters and everything. Obviously, I'm not going to go in depth just in case spoilers or whatever. But yeah, and the movie, I really liked the movie too. The movie was, just as Grasshopper said, like a natural roller coaster of content from start to finish.
I wish I could have seen it in my country. There were no theaters that were
You haven't seen
playing
it?
I saw the movie, but there were no theaters that were playing it.
Oh, okay.
None of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
played it in Hungary, unfortunately.
Yeah, I saw it in a theater. It was really good.
Yeah.
But my issue with it, though, they actually played the movie in English dub.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Yeah,
How
they
was
played
it?
it in dub.
Did you like it?
It was okay. Like, Inosuke's voice was terrible. You don't want to listen to Inosuke. He sounds like Choji, but worse in English dub.
He's the
Like-
same voice actor for Kirito from Sword Art Online, the English dub.
Oh, really?
And they ran forum Attack on Titan as well, I believe.
Yeah, I don't recommend watching that movie in English dub. Like every time Inosuke opened his mouth, it was unbearable.
Yeah.
Did it sound like something behind the mask?
No, it sounded really
Oh, no.
clear. Like yeah, like yeah, it's terrible. But yeah, so in terms of the game, I got a lot of high hopes for the game because CC2's done a really good job with the Storm series. You know, and then they tried Dragon Ball Z, which looks pretty good. I didn't actually get Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but it looks good.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching some gameplay of it the other day, and the art looks really good. Like CC2 are really good at art, animation stuff. So, and obviously from what we've seen of Demus there, it looks really good so far. Obviously, like as a competitive player, I'm just wondering how the game is going to go competitively. So I'm like thinking about that, just wondering because that's like really important to me because I want to play it like as hardcore as I can. So that's what I'm pondering about. But yeah, I got high hopes for Demon Slayer, and so far from what I've seen of the anime and the movie, yeah, I'm in love with the series.
Yeah, I mean the good thing, as far as I've seen, and I don't know if this really means this, but have you seen that in all of the trailers they've been using anime music, like using anime assets, like unlike in Storm 4. Like in Storm 4, the only thing that CC2 is using the Sharingan voice effect, nothing else, not even the Rasengan. But in the trailers, you can already. I mean, I didn't recognize all of them, but I recognized at least two OSTs from the anime. Like, even the one where Tanjiro cuts Sabito's mask, that music itself was also from the anime. Like,
oh, I didn't actually know that.
That might mean that they have more freedom with the game than they had with Storm 4, because in Storm 4 we hear none of the Naruto music, not even the effects.
Yeah, Traitor, that's probably the case because behind the scenes, the publisher, at least in anywhere else other than Japan, because Japan is a different area, the publisher of the anime series, Aniplex, it's behind everything. So
Yeah.
the publisher directly supports the developer in this case. So I think they have a fully licensed plate and they can do everything they want.
They want to go out.
Yeah.
So they can take anything from the anime basically and use it in the
Yeah,
game as well. Yeah.
I hope. I mean, we talked about like competitive aspects, like we mentioned it, and I don't know if you guys looked at it, but there's also a counter system in the game, and what I hope in this counter that it's gonna be like, you guys know Jump Force, right? I know that Jump Force is not the best game, not the most competitive game. It is fun, but not the most competitive game. But anybody can shit on the game, but Jump Force has better counter system than Storm 4. And if Demon Slayer has that counter system or Vanish system, because there are two of them actually, then I feel like it's gonna be better because it's way more skill based, I believe. Like I don't know if you know Poison how it works, but there's like a stamina bar or something like that in the bottom right or left.
Are you talking about that little circular
Yes,
bar that you can use to escape combos and stuff in Jump Force?
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to use that for both of them, and I believe the counter is frame perfect. I might be wrong, but I feel way more satisfaction whenever I hit any of them than whenever I'm just like pressing counter 3 times in a row like Tsurasa. Like that's not satisfying at all for me.
No.
Traitor, before I share my opinion, I will watch just 1 minute of gameplay because I intentionally postponed everything Demon Slayer gameplay related things until this point. So intentionally, I wanted to see everything later in the game. Let's say in early October. But now that we are talking about it, I will watch some until you have some chat, and I will share my thoughts after.
Yeah, while Leszko is doing it, let me jump in. So from what I can see, there are several aspects to the Demon Slayer game, and one of them is that, it is being made by CC2, which is already a good start because they know what they are doing after all the Storm games. So that's one very good point. And also, as the anime, how the anime looks is already stunning, and they just literally it looks like they copy pasted the whole thing, and it looks and you can play it. So the graphics were already kind of given that it's a super it's a hyper drawing something that it looks really good. And when I first saw the trailers, I said, well, is it a game or it's like an interactive movie, because it looks so cool. It's like you're playing the actual anime. As for the competitive part, uh, I would say that this, hopefully, the way it looks in their hands is that Demon Slayer has just begun, and the comics is or it's ongoing. We are after the anime movie, so a new season is coming out of the animation as well, and this is kind of in the same shoes as Storm One, which in a sense of competitiveness, it was okay. It didn't have all the mechanics like Storm 4, Storm 2 even, but it was balanced, and it was built in a way that it should be fun to play, and the characters were kind of made to confront each other in the game pretty well. So compared to other games which had a lot bigger character roster, it was inevitable that the balance is going to, just skyrocket to the characters from Shippuden. They are going to be, older, faster, stronger, and nobody's going to care about the old characters, the small characters. And this is where it's going to uh, pull its features, its strengths for Demon Slayer, because once we get more characters, well, if you look at the character roster now, it's not much, and they probably want to make everybody as balanced compared to the others as possible, because they don't want anyone to have overpowered character, because from gaming standpoint, from story standpoint, it will make sense, but nobody wants to play a totally realistic anime game with I don't know, Yu Hakusho Toguro 120%, because he's going to kick ass everybody's basically. But in this case, we know who is, we know who is how how characters are strong in the anime, and maybe it's going to change with the flow of the animation as we get more seasons. I don't know, but from what I can see currently in the video, in the gameplay, and also the trailer, it looks pretty well thought, and that would be, I think that would be the best keyword I can use here. That they're really thinking about it, because they know that people still today want better content, better mechanics, fixes in Storm. So people are always paying attention, and they want to give hints, advice, whatever. I will continue later. That's my big take here.
Okay. What do you think, What do you think, Okami? Can the game be competitive? What do you think about the Storm players? Because I think most of them are, like 60% of them might just quit it. What do you think? Not sure, but will quit it, in my opinion. What do you think?
I've heard a lot of opinions so far about Storm players and Demon Slayer. I heard one crazy rumor saying that Storm players are going to ruin Demon Slayer because we're very good at finding glitches and problems with the game.
Yeah,
and it's just gonna ruin it. So that's like one theory already. So my mindset is very similar to Grasshoppers actually. So a lot of people are already fearing and fretting about Demon Slayer and its success. And what they have to consider is like this won't be the only Demon Slayer game, and CC2 aren't strangers to making multiple games. And obviously Demon Slayer is an ongoing story at the moment. Like the manga's still going, the anime is still going. Obviously the second season got announced and everything, and they're probably going to make more movies in the future too. They got all these other Hashira to show off and stuff. So I'm pretty sure there will be a second Demon Slayer game, even if this one doesn't do as well gameplay wise. And I can see it being similar to like Storm 1. Like Storm 1, it had its mechanics, it had like, the wall running, the Jutsu Clash and all that, but CC2 like taking mechanics out, putting new ones in over the years. So in Storm 2, they've taken out like the Jutsu Clash and stuff in like free battle mode. And then in Storm 3, they added, or Generations, they added like, combo canceling, Chakra Dash Spark canceling and stuff like that. And they added all these extra stuff. And then Storm 3, they added, relays and they took that out. So with Demon Slayer, is like, the game could be very basic, and from what I can see, the game looks heavy on fundamentals. Like, it doesn't look like there's a lot of stuff that can kind of carry you. Like in Storm 4, we have leader switching. Leader switching is a key part to the game's, playing well at the game. If you can leader switch well, you can use it to save your ass in a lot of situations. With Demon Slayer, obviously the leader switching looks different. And there's so many Storm players like, oh, I wonder if we can do like leader switch tech that we can do in Storm 4, Like we save the chakra bar or whatever.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No,
yeah, like people, I
know.
don't think so either. Like the game looks heavily fundamental based, and the fact you got to use your supports in Demon Slayer, like, from what I've seen, your support is used to get you out of a combo. It's like your sub, basically, isn't it? Yeah. So even like, I'm not really too worried if it doesn't succeed. I want it to be competitive. Like I want it to do really well, and like if it's if we can start running tournaments and have a competitive scene, that'd be great. But if it doesn't, I'm not worried about it, because when they release more seasons and the story progresses, CC2 will use that as an opportunity to make another game. They'll add more mechanics, might take out some mechanics. They'll probably listen to the feedback that we give them based on the first game and just improve. So
that's
like
my
whole
nice.
mentality on it.
If we tell them nice, yeah.
If they choose to listen to us, yeah.
I don't think they are gonna remove anything this time, because if you think about it, they removed stuff that would have been hard to make with these new characters, like Jutsu clashes, warning, like maybe not hard, but like time consuming. As far as I know, Storm 4 came out late, and even when it came out late, they said that it wasn't. I mean, they mentioned that it wasn't as finished as they wanted it to.
Yeah, I
and
heard Bandai were a bit upset with
yes,
CC2 about the release of Storm 4.
Yes, and imagine if they have left everything in the game from Storm 1. There's no, and imagine them balancing even those. Like now that like I'm not gonna lie, I still think that support still making jutsus and combos, even though you change them off. I still think that's a bug, but imagine this happening, and also the war running transition happening, and imagine how much more blue screens you're gonna have in the game. You would have in the game.
God.
Infinite amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have high hopes for the game though.
Yeah, same.
And if it doesn't do well, I'm not worrying too much. I can see CC2 working on it, and the roster seems okay so far. I'm not surprised that they've already created multiple versions of each character, because they've done like school outfits of the characters, so with different movesets, which is kind of cool. But like, it's a typical anime fighter doing clones of one character. Like in Storm, we got like 5 or 6 different Narutos to play as, and 5 or 6 different Sasuke's to play as, and 3 Kabutos.
I only have one problem with one of the characters, and that is Murata. Like, normally I wouldn't have any issue with him, but whenever a gaming company includes a character that's like goofy, having like its, let's just say, original moveset, because we literally haven't seen him doing anything in anime, it just, for me, it feels like they're out of ideas, and they can't be out of ideas because the demons are still not in the game. But like, I would be fine if they added Murata while they were still adding demons, but they haven't added a single demon, and I'm just half mad, because if they give us a semi-balanced but still fun game, I'm not having any issues. But adding Murata before adding any demon other than Nezuko, like, why?
It's concerning, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think the truth behind this would be around popularity poll, what Japanese really love, especially in weekly series, weekly manga series. They ask the fans to maybe online or in paper form to send their fans or votes rather regarding popularity, and I think it will be something like that. And we don't know anything about this because we are in the West, not in the Asian region, and most of the time Japanese developers tend to make decisions regarding popularity from the manga polls, especially like
I see.
let's say Tekken also had not an issue, a decision like that in the past. Around, I think Tekken Tournament 2 at first, maybe. So it's a long story. Japanese developers have a history regarding these popularity polls. I think it is something which can be done. This.
But speaking of story,
Yeah.
if you think about that, it's going to be anime game which wouldn't live without adventure mode or story mode. Well, mostly you want to play all the battles, all the scenes, everything. So you shouldn't worry about demons missing out
Yeah.
because they probably don't want to spoil it, I guess. So my best take on this is that everything is going to be there from the anime series, from beginning to end. Maybe only limited to the anime series, so nothing added extra, nothing like side missions or whatever. Maybe they will do it, but as for the main big events, big fights, I think they're going to go all out and do everything they can to make this a big game and have, get the big bucks, I guess. So if everything goes well, that probably means that most likely everything is already in the game, and as Okami said, it's as we move forward, they will add more seasons. Maybe the well, my biggest, how should I say, my biggest dream for one game like this would be to have no additional
Microtransactions.
releases. No. I want one game with seasons with added content. So not like FIFA every year, but one Demon Slayer with added story and content. Because what can they do? If when in a new game, is it going to be more beautiful? I don't think so. So they shouldn't just they shouldn't change up everything to have a new menu or something. They can do it in one engine. I'm pretty sure.
So you want them to add on to one game, basically, just add on over time. Yeah.
They could have done it with Storm 1 as well, but as for the mechanics, that was a different story. So
But
I totally agree.
They did it once with Storm 4 because the Roto expansion
Yeah.
had a different producer than the original Storm 4.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Me neither.
It had a reason, and I think maybe this person is partially behind the scenes. So I also hope that that we can share something, or we can experience something like you mentioned, Grass. And Okami, you mentioned or noted something earlier that we hope that the CC2 will listen to us. I mean players, and I think they can now. In under Bandai Namco's umbrella, it is very difficult because they are heavily licensed, and they always said that whatever the players want, they must express to the Bandai Namco.
Production committee.
Production committee,
or board.
basically. But now I think they have the possibility and the power to directly listen to us, players, and whoever want to make suggestions, let's say in a regulated form, whether it will be online or postcards, I don't know. Anything can happen. So my hope regarding this topic is that they will use something, let's say multilingual, for example, as CC2 also operate in English, other than the original Japanese developer team. So I hope they will use something like a feedback form, which can be regulated and can be used like I must tell you an example. Gekitou Strive does this very good because they have a platform for it, and I think if their footsteps can be followed, then it can be a good feedback part from the players. So that's my hope.
Let me give my reaction to Okami's take on mechanics so far, what we have seen in the gameplay. So we have seen developers. I think they were some of them developers who played the game actually on live stream, and one of the things that was totally noticeable on a good way that it is going to be a fighting game compared to Storm because the biggest feature to any Storm game compared to any other fighting game in the genre is Kawarimi no Jutsu or substitution jutsu, which means that without it, it's going to be a fighting game. As you could see in the gameplay, when two characters clash at each other, it's going to be the fundamentals, as Okami said, which means that whoever strikes first, well, it's all down to the frames, depending on how deep the mechanics and the moves are going to be done. But it's going to be, we are talking about frames, speed, and the 3D element as well, which is a bit different from other games, but that's fine. We know how it works, and we can cope with it pretty well. But well, if you look at it from the overview, it is a fighting game with clean combos and a clean system that either helps you get out of combos with the help of support, so you can make comebacks, or you can make good escape moves with the help of somebody else in the team, and maybe the counter as well. Counter, because it's a sword play, counter has to be in the game. It is in all the games that has sword game. Soul Calibur has it, and Samurai Shodown has it. So it is self-explanatory.
And it fits the theme. So
Yeah, of course, yeah, they exactly know what
It makes sense.
Yeah. So from what I have seen, which is it's a bit it's a tiny thing, but from visual perspective, what I really like is that when the combos, when the characters get very close and one of them starts to attack with a combo, and then maybe they can chain it into an ultimate move or something like that, the characters are going to the characters line up in 2D, which is I think is pretty cool. So if you look at it, it's not like Storm, which is always in 3D and things just slip, or sometimes you can, when you look at it, you can see that it's you look at it and say that okay, I hope this combo goes from beginning to end and stuff like that. But in this game, it looks like you immediately switch from very smoothly from 3D to 2D. So that's one thing that you need to maybe think about, or not think about at all, because it's just works. So that's one of, if it was in Storm, I think everybody would be much happier, even with the current bugs or glitches. So it's a big change, and I think that was the thing that I was holding back on. So look out on how the fundamentals are going to be necessary. So to message to any Storm player out there, learn to play any other fighting game, because you are going to need that knowledge pretty quickly for being a player.
And give constructive feedback. Like, don't just say that CC2 sucks, like Anipex sucks, or Bandai sucks, because first of all, Bandai has nothing to do with the game. Second of all, because CC2 has multiple times stated that they hate how the Western audience is toxic. Is this toxic?
I've been saying this for years. I've said, like, you guys got to chill out on what you're saying. Like, you complain and you bash at the community, like at the companies too much. Like, this is why they don't provide you with the content you're asking for, because you're always just talking down on them.
No wonder that we have no open channel to talk with them. I think we don't have the open channel to talk with them. Yeah.
Like, one of their staff follows me and follows some of the other Storm players on Twitter. Yeah. But one of the American players tried reaching out to him, but he just completely ignored him. I think it might be the language barrier. I'm not entirely sure, but it's nice to know that they're following some of us, because it shows that they're watching us. So everything I put online is very like, hi CC2, hello.
Please, can you help? Can you please do this? Maybe.
Conservative approach.
I'm a nice guy. Do this, please.
Yeah, very very polite.
You know how it goes. We are the fans of their game, and they are the fans of the content. So we are just following each other and want to see the best out of it over the years. So it's not going to be a one-off. It is
I think it should be the same success story or bigger than Storm, but that's a big ask over the years. So let's wait until it releases at first.
I mean, I think Storm also had the help of everybody knew what Naruto is. So like, yeah, I know that Demon Slayer, and I literally said that Demon Slayer currently is the most popular anime, manga, etc. But if I go out, tell my mother that Tanjiro did this, and that Naruto did that, she's gonna know that Naruto is that yellow-haired guy, but she will have no idea who Tanjiro is. Like, I think that Storm also had. No, she will have no idea. I think the game also had this sort of help that Naruto was that widely known. Like, or at least in Hungary, people like most older senior people, we have no idea about Demon Slayer. But that might just be my take. I don't know.
Naruto has been around for a very long time prior
Yeah.
to the Storm game's release, because
Yeah.
obviously it's a very old anime, isn't it? Like Demon Slayer is very new, so yeah, there's that to consider.
Yeah, that can be.
Traitor, you're actually not totally correct because I think on the charts the number one is still Boku no Hero Academia, and look at their game. That was only made for entertainment, and
That is a copy.
yeah, it is a copy game, and it didn't do well. I think, at least not over here.
Not even the second one.
Yeah, and it had very clunky movement.
Yeah, I agree.
It was good for a story game, but nothing else. Well, it's not even talking about competitive, of course. And after that, Jump Force was released, and many people were like, "Oh boy, we are going to get these kind of games."
Where's the
now?"
rematch
Now-
button? Where's the
Yeah.
where's the fucking rematch button?
And the lobbies as well. Where's like
The-
the endless lobbies?
The game still has no spectator mode. Jump Force still has
Terrible.
no spectator mode.
How long's the game been out now? 3 years or
I
something?
don't know,
2?
but whenever I watch Ichi's tournaments, I know that he's watching other people stream, either a YouTube or Twitch. Like, there's still no spectator mode. Like, come on, man.
You should play Shinobi Striker. It gets all the content almost like weekly. So
Yeah, but the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
is, like, even if people shit on that game, like, that game is like, it's based on having friends and other people. Like, just to give you an example, in World of Warcraft, you have to play with other people to defeat a boss in a dungeon or a raid. In Shinobi Striker, you also have to get other people. Like, if you play alone, you're gonna be destroyed. You have to cooperate with other people. And just judging by other games, if you play with other people who you have no idea with who they are, not only will they not join voice channel, because I hope there's voice in Shinobi Striker, not only will they not join that channel, but they will not cooperate with you at all. So they need friends. So they are spreading the word themselves, the players. In Stormfall, right, I bought the game. I can play whatever I'm playing. That's all. It was it was cheaper. I'm playing it. Cool.
yeah, it's a different genre. So yeah, it's a obvious choice for a player to play Shinobi Striker or play Storm.
Yeah, and Twitch
or play League of
metrics.
Legends, yeah.
Twitch metrics doesn't mean that the game is more popular. Like, Stormfall usually has more viewers than Shinobi Striker and Jump Force, but which game gets the least amount of support?
Not in Japan region. So that's why they have so much support, because
Yeah.
in Japan it's lit. Everybody's playing it. The players who like Naruto and like MOBA. So that's a combination that
Mhm.
it's not something that was known here.
I see.
Storm players are different. They play a different genre. So yeah, we can't compare it. And I'm not really arguing with people who was for this game. Well, it's not for you. That's all. And it's from different team, different platform, different model, and actually the game is getting pretty good. So you should be jealous.
After the first season, Shinobi Striker, outside of Japan, was thought to be dead. And I think people just think about this game in general these days like it's not alive at all. But it indeed is very alive in Japan because it has proven itself to be alive. So people learn to play it. They form teams which stay together, not like in Hungary, and they know what they are doing. They I think they demand content and they get it. And
Yeah.
I think it's a success story on their own. So I okay. Other than that, the first thing I wanted to mention about Demon Slayer, the video game now, is what Grasshopper said, the dynamic camera, which is similar to two other games, which we already know. What is the Gekitou Ninja? Yeah, so the Gekitou Ninja Taisen series for the Wii and GameCube had the same the same close-up camera. But
It's not the same. It's not a 3D game. It's
yes,
3D models in a 2.5D environment.
Yeah.
but the way
But that's right.
the
yeah.
camera changes now dynamically, I think it's unique. I have seen a lot of let's say camera scenes and perspectives like this, but I've never seen something this fast, and it looks good. The other I have noticed regarding this is that the other game should be One Piece Burning Blood, which is a little bit clunky, but it has similar elements, and the developers of that game was the Raging Blast developer, the Dragon Ball Raging Blast series. So they also knew what they were doing, and the most important thing which dictates the pace of the game is now the 60 FPS, and it's not. And I don't want to emphasize the 60 FPS itself, because it is just a technical way of presenting the content. But in Naruto's case, the double 30 FPS was not a historical thing. Okay, on the PlayStation 2, they didn't want to do.
Actually, cinematic move.
Yeah, actually,
all the way.
The other games, the Hurricane Chronicles, I don't know the exact title, which was a 3D hack and slash in Naruto, they were 60 FPS, but no one cared, because it was good at that time. But Demon Slayer, the anime itself, with its very special effects, seems to be a lot smoother, and I think they wanted to go on with the special effects perfectly, and they wanted to have a higher pace game than Storm 4, and the only way to do is not using a double 30 FPS mechanics, but using a true 60 FPS, which now the systems have all the power for. So they just have to animate everything around this whole let's say technical system. So what I have seen, not regarding the dynamic camera, but the punishment things, I think I have seen some crashes in the short trailer I have watched earlier. But the punishment window regarding the frames seemed very short or close in sense. So I think it will be very, very interesting, and I'm looking forward to it, because it's we all know that the CC2 team also has knowledge and experience with 60 FPS content, but we haven't seen it in action in a versus game, because the Kakarot Dragon Ball game is not a versus. I mean, it's not a true versus 60 FPS game, which also has online. And now we will have online, and now is the time to show that they know what they are doing in 60 FPS, and it will be fun to control too. And it looks great, it feels great so far. I mean, just by looking at it, and I hope that from technical perspective, it will be, let's say, it will touch our hearts.
Yeah. Okay, let me have like two more questions. So I don't want to take too much of your times. Let me start with the one that might be bigger. So what do you all think? Why will people play this game? Will they play for enjoyment, or will they play it for like content, money and stuff? Because just today I literally saw somebody be like, "Hey, what up, CC2? What about you guys wanna sponsor competitive players and stuff?" Like, what do you guys think? Are people mostly gonna play this for enjoyment, or they are just gonna hop on the game and be like, "Oh, good! It's basically Storm 5. Let's go! I'm gonna be the most famous player."
The Storm 5 thing, yeah, people need to get off that train. Like that's no, just no. By default, a lot of people buy the game for the story and for the enjoyment of it. Like aside, like if you just put the Storm players aside and any like competitive anime game player aside, because people got their own competitive communities, people will buy it just to relive the story. They want to play through all the major fights again and stuff. So there will be that. Because that's why I bought Storm 2. Like I'm thinking about myself years ago when I was younger and I got Storm 2. I played it just to relive all the anime moments and stuff. And go through
Same.
it all again, through my control. I wanted to be Sasuke fighting Itachi. I wanted to be Jiraiya fighting Pain. But it was the gameplay that got me into competitive. Like the way it all played, the versus and online. It just pulled me in. I can see Demon Slayer doing that for a lot of people because like Naruto still does that to this day. I get people commenting on my videos and telling me like, oh, I bought the game like a week ago, loving it by the way. The tutorials are helping. I want to learn this game more. And I feel Demon Slayer will have that. I feel like when people get into versus mode and stuff, and they get to do all the fun like attacks with all the characters and their special moves and stuff, and the sword play and stuff. Like I can see people who are like casual and playing it for like the fan service, like like the story and all the character interactions. I can see them hopping over to the competitive side and getting introduced because I see that in Storm today, so I can see that happening in Demon Slayer as well.
Yeah, I just hope that people are gonna appreciate the whole game, not just the online part, but the whole game, because even Stormfall isn't just like an online game. Just look at how much story it has. Like, I mean, okay,
Yeah.
compared to other games, it might not be that much, but it's there.
But if you look at any of the main storyline Naruto Storm games, all of them have an epic story because it's
Yeah.
from the anime. It's it has to be in there, and you are going to play it. You are going to enjoy it. That part is flawless. If if you go to the versus section, it's a totally different story. We had this feeling, especially in the PlayStation 2 series, because the 2D fighting was a different game mode compared to the story, which was in 3D. So I don't know when they shifted from the five games in PlayStation 2, if I want to think about Ultimate Ninja, but it was a very big move that they did, and everybody just accepted it. That, well, cool, there's another game mode that I can play, and it's not the clanky 3D that most people don't like or didn't like at that time. So that's one thing, and the other one, as Okami mentioned, if you look at Demon Slayer, it is, well, if you look at CC2, Demon Slayer is going to be the story, and the immersive experience is going to be the number one goal, I think. And well, that's why they are making the game in the first place. If they manage to combine the versus mechanics, so the one-on-one combat, with fair elements, well, let's include swordplay, because swordplay was never fair, and there are games where you can literally one-hit somebody, and well, if a samurai did it, you can do it in a game. So they did it. If they do something like that in Demon Slayer with a good, good game fairness, good damage scaling, then you can get a pretty fun game that it's rewarding. It can be strict. For let's think of punishment when you miss a move and somebody else catches on quickly, and yeah, if you get really good at it against the CPU, I'm pretty sure the CPU is going to be fun to play against, especially if it's a demon. If you get well, if you get to know the game well, you are going to enjoy it, and you are going to be better at this story part as well. My biggest, not concern, but my biggest thought right now is that, oh, what was it? So if they manage to make the combat system good, nobody's going to complain, most likely, because yeah, the esports part or the competitive scene part, I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe it's never going to happen. If we think about how the championship series went with Storm,
Season
it
1.
wasn't. Yeah, I would say yeah.
One and only.
I think it wasn't because of the game mechanics, at that stage, how it was developed, how it had some issues at that time. I think they were really focusing on the experience part, and well, honestly, that's why I'm hoping in the first place. They need to get all the other things done correctly to have the game sell, and they can think about everything else later, because if people are going to play it online, they are going to be the regulars there. So it's not like they drop the game after 1 week. They are going to be there. I think Okami can agree with this one.
Yeah. There's one last question to all of you. Who are you guys gonna main in the game?
Sainty, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna be maining Shinobu.
Why are you stealing
Shinobu.
Why are you stealing my main? Why are you
Think
stealing?
me or
Yeah, that's my main.
you're playing Shinobu?
Yeah, of course. Like, who else would I play?
God, you stole my birthday. Now my main. What is this, dude?
I mean, just look at her. She has the same voice actor as my favorite female character in the anime, and I'm pretty sure you know who that is. Like,
Oh, okay.
like,
Right. Oh, I'm playing her just because of the poison. This was my whole thing.
I'm literally just playing her because she has the same voice actor.
You've even put her above my thing in the podcast.
I know. Like, the only
You know
reason
she belongs to me. We're gonna have to do some mirror matches when the game comes out. See who can claim her.
Yeah. Like, I only have Nezuko here because, like, it looks nice.
Yay.
Because why not?
Yeah, you know what? We are going to have mirror matches. I choose Zenitsu as well because I really like fast characters, so it's going to be mirror here as well.
Nice. Okay, just as a secret question to you, Okami, like, this is very important question. I'm pretty sure like most people want to know this in the community, because you haven't been streaming for a while, and maybe some people might be feeling that there might be some issues, like we can only redeem feed Rio when you're streaming. And have you been feeding Rio? Like, I haven't.
My dog is.
I haven't.
He's very much alive. Yeah, he is fed and alive. He is doing well. He was up here actually, but I think he's gone downstairs. He's not with me right now, but
he's lying. He's lying.
No, my dog is absolutely fine. He's being fed. There's nothing. None of you redeemed to feed him in today's stream.
I know. I was eating the whole time.
Yeah, no, he's doing well. He's doing very well.
All right. Thank you very much for all of you coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, everything. Do you guys want to say anything for the people who might watch this?
Thank you for having me. It's great coming on. I like having just sitting down and talking about anything anime games related or anything I'm actually knowledgeable on. But it's good. I'm always down for a chat about anything anime game related, and Demon Slayer, it's a hot topic coming up. But yeah, thank you for having me. It's been very good. Very good.
Thank you. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining this little talk session. And I hope to see all of you again soon. All right, boys. Take care. Peace.
Bye.
See you later.